Hi, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We have a list of 13 properties. There's 12 on the Toronto system. There's one more on the Oakville-Milton system. There are two MLS systems that exist in Milton. A lot of people are not aware of that. We're part of both, so we can provide information from both. If an agent comes from Toronto or oftentimes even Mississauga or Brampton, they're going to find that they're not seeing the Oakville-Milton stuff, and some of the local agents aren't part of Toronto either. So it's a benefit to you as a buyer reviewing this full and complete list, but it's also a benefit to a seller, because if we put two listings out there, there's a much greater chance that you get clicked. Our studies have said when there's more than one listing, when there's one and two, you get about 50% more clicks online. So that can make a big impact to the selling process. Anyway, let's get started. I like a few of these in today's list, so we'll give you the highlights. 1479 Maple, number 109. Price point is amazing at $250. You really can't buy anything under $250 right now. You might see something similar to this at like $245, but that's where they sit. It's got neutral colors. It's just a straight one bedroom. There's no den. It's on the first floor, so the pros and cons of that is that you get a little bit more grass here. Let's say, for example, well, I don't know if you'd have kids in a one bedroom, but you just have a little bit more green space here. Whereas some of them, you have a balcony and there's a hallway right in front of you up on the top floors. Anyway, it looks good. There's a party room, there's a gym, and price point is what's going to make this one move. Then we move up to the fourth floor, and this is a Windsor Model. It's just over 1,000 square feet. That's kind of an east-south view right here. Inside, they've got these high 9-foot ceilings on the fourth floor. That might be the best use of that ceiling I've ever seen, is to create the fireplace mantle and kind of make it go right up to the top. That was a brilliant move by these guys to really showcase how high the ceilings are. Nice finishes inside, good countertop. The floors look good. It's a laminate floor, even upgrading in the bathrooms here. You still kind of have the cheap showers, but they did what they could. They put a little bowl sink right here. The thing about this one, the Windsors usually sell in the kind of $310 to $325 range. So at $350, they're certainly asking for a premium compared to what else is sold for the amount of upgrades they've done. Personally, I would rather buy something at $320 and then go in and do all the work myself and probably arrive at less than the asking price. But the thing about a home that's really well done is you do command that premium. So it all depends on the buyer. I would rather do things myself, but there's a lot of people out there that just love the turnkey and they're willing to pay for it. 50 Fulton just lowered their price. They were, I believe, up at $415. They made a big chop and brought it down to $400. So now, sitting at $400,000, they're now the last one in the $300 to $400 range. They're the first one in the $400 to $500 range. So they've double exposed themselves, which I think is going to help them quite a bit. We have a home just around the corner that's for sale for $10,000 less at 321pine.com if you want to see the details. Nice property here, backs onto 60 Mile Creek, and because of the proximity to the creek and the low-lying area, I don't know if this would be an ideal candidate for redevelopment. I don't know if you could go in and tear this one down and put a monster house. My understanding is there are definitely restrictions to major redevelopment in this area. So that, I believe, is the kitchen in the back of the house, and then you've got the half story up here above the house. You also have living area here. So this at some point was a garage or a carriage house, and it's now a separate living quarter. So if somebody had an older relative that maybe lived in here but came into this house to, let's say, dine with the family or have a shower, because there's only one bathroom on the whole property, so this doesn't really have a bathroom. I don't know, I think it's a neat concept. It's something that you just don't see every day. Now this one on Laurier just launched last night. Anything you see in Daily Homes is 24 hours or less, right? So Listed last night. It already has a couple offers on it. I had the chance to see this one this morning, and it shows very well. There's a good amount of space here. The bathroom reno looks great. The finished basement is done well, and you've got a pretty good amount of privacy in the backyard. So it's a semi-detached. The way this angle, it's not really clear. You've got good amounts of parking in the driveway. You could probably fit about 4 cars here. Laurier is a busier street, so that's the downside. There's been a couple sales on streets like Saytock, for example, semi-detached 4 bedrooms that have hovered a little higher than this, and so being on quieter streets, be interesting to see. This one's done well. Same model as this one, sold a bit of a distressed seller for less than $400 at the end of last year. So we'll see what happens. I think the lack of other choices for buyers right now is probably going to be something that helps these guys. Now, there's a feature on Beaver that I think is very interesting, especially if somebody has a boat or a trailer. Like, I'm thinking somebody who maybe has a landscaping business or a general contractor. There's a neat little feature here that you don't see very often. So, looks good from the outside. A lot of people tend to do the extension on this house and do an addition over the garage, which isn't overly complicated. It's a pretty open concept design. So the floor plan's good. And then you've got 3 bedrooms upstairs, and there's 1 bathroom up on the top level, and double sinks is good, and then you've got your finished basement. That's the thing that I think is really interesting. The garage is a straight drive-through. You've got a door on the front, door on the back. So if you had a trailer you had to store and you just didn't want to put it in the driveway, you could put it back in your backyard. You could have a boat that goes right through. I think that's a very handy feature. Good upgrades in here. I think the price is bang on. I think they priced it right on the nose. Nice property. Bar Crescent is at $549,900. The same thing that we talked about on Fulton. If they put this at $550,000, they have the benefit of being exposed to 2 different price ranges. So that's oftentimes the recommendation I give to my clients, is instead of $549,900 or $424,900, $425,000, $550,000 tends to get you better exposure. We call that double bracketing on our team. So this is a good floor plan, 1,880 square feet. 4 bedrooms upstairs plus laundry. It's a very efficient layout. There's not a lot of wasted space. The hallway doesn't take up too much room. It's a good model. It's right around the corner from Hawthorne Village Public School. There's splash pads around. Really nice street. Bar's got a lot of nice homes on it. It's a nice listing, good price. There was one of these that just sold with siding on the outside, and I didn't think it looked much better in terms of upgrades, and it went, I think, in the 570s. This one will go fast. Menifee Bungalow. Not sure I love the way the outside looks with this weird sort of staggered tile pattern on the outside. But inside, you've got a bungalow. It's between 1,500 and 2,000 square feet. Finishes are tasteful. Replacing that white hood fan with stainless steel would have made a big difference, but they put the fruit out, so there you go. That's the secret weapon. Overall, this one looks quite good. There's a master on the main floor, plus there's master and a bedroom on the main floor, and then there's 2 bedrooms upstairs. And so you've got 2 full bathrooms on the main floor, and then you have another 3rd full bathroom upstairs. One of these sold on Ferguson last year, I think, for even more than this. So this is a quieter street. It's going to do well. I think it's a great option for somebody who maybe has a little bit more budget than Drury Park, or somebody who wants something newer than maybe what you'd find on some of the older bungalow streets. Now we have a very interesting head-to-head battle here on Ruddy. They're both listed at the same price, $639,000. They're not that far off in terms of square footage. And the interesting twist on this is that the agent owns one of them, and So you wonder, like if an offer comes in, you wonder how much sway there'd be if it came in on the other house, if they said, hey, what about my house? It's just I could imagine some interesting conversations coming from the situation, especially they're on the same street and listed at the same price. It looks good, it's clean, it's clutter-free, double sinks with a marble countertop in the master ensuite. And you've got your walkout to the balcony here. So that can be a great setup if you have a home office where you can just open the doors, get some fresh air, maybe even go outside and just take a little bit of a break. So those rooms are great for home offices. Not so great for teenagers that know how to escape late at night. So Ruddy, this one here is the second one. It's at $639, same price. And a bit of a different configuration, but it's actually quite similar if you look at the upgrades and finishes and everything else here. So, we'll see what happens. That's the cold room. That's one of the better looking cold rooms I've seen. And potentially you've got to put a fence on either one anyway. Very close battle. Wet loffers, 3,000 square feet. $789 is a little bit steep for that. Now, the best feature about this house is the fact that it backs onto green space. And, the kitchen, you look at, you say, for this price, I could probably get a more upgraded kitchen. There's nothing really that stands out about the rest of the house. There's nothing wrong with it. Glass shower's nice, but it doesn't have that zip that you'll see in this price range. The thing that's missing is they don't have a shot of the green space. That's the best part of this house, and it's completely omitted from the pictures. And a lot of buyers maybe won't even go to the description. They will go to the property address, scroll through the pictures. If they don't like it, they may not go any further. So that can have a huge impact on the way the market is receiving a listing. Last one of the day is 9025 Dairy. It's one of the live works. Very impressive. I mean, normally you see the outside shot as being the first shot. For the way this one's configured, there's commercial downstairs, residential upstairs. This is the leading shot. I don't often advocate putting a picture of the inside as the first one. In this case, it gets people interested. So you think about the headline gets interest. That picture gets interest. That's a great looking kitchen. Excuse me. Nice finishes inside. Probably the nicest looking townhouse I've seen in the live works. And then downstairs, you're actually bigger. A lot of them are about 800 square feet of commercial, and then maybe sort of 2,300 square feet of residential. That's your downstairs. The tenant is in place until 2019. And it's pretty well established. This is a complicated one from a valuation perspective because you want to know how much the lease is. Typically, they're about maybe $20 a square foot downstairs. So you can kind of look at that, and then if they share what's called TMI, taxes, maintenance, insurance, that kind of stuff. I don't know what kind of an arrangement they have, but we haven't seen any of these sell for over $1 million. There's one that's listed right now for $850. We have seen a couple at about $9 million, and they were much smaller. So I think the price they chose is actually very fair because you're getting probably 50% more living space and commercial space than the usual unit here, and you're paying 10% more for 50% increase. It's a niche product. There's not a lot of buyers out there for these, but I think somebody who sees this and recognizes quality and also recognizes the total square footage, they could find themselves getting what I consider to be a pretty good deal as far as live works in town go. So there we go. Interesting list. Some properties that I think are definitely worth a look. And so if you want to see anything this weekend, just give us a call at 905-693-9346, and we'll see you back here on Monday with more Milton Daily Homes. Thank you for watching.